This podcast is brought to you by the Foundation for World Harmony and by Velena.
Come with me to discover the transformative power of kindness and the joy it brings. Join me as we explore every Monday morning simple yet profound ways to elevate your happiness, one gesture at a time.
Wow, fantastic, baby. Dance. I'm gonna dance. Fantastic, baby.
Fantastic day to one and all. Welcome to another episode of The Complete Guide to Happiness. Did you have a happy week? Are you happy today? Well, this show might make you happier because I'm interviewing a fantastic ambassador who runs a school. I got a lot of ambassadors that run schools. I have a lot of respect for teachers because they're not doing it for the money. They're doing it to spread kindness and make the children happy and grow up happy. That's the secret to life, happy. So today's quote is from Helen Keller. She had a rough life being a blind woman. And she said, the unselfish effort to bring cheer to others will be the beginning of a happier life for ourselves. Ain't that the truth? You know, I've been traveling 5 years, as you all know, and just spreading kindness. And people are so kind. There's some evil people still out there in the world. And we're going to try to reduce that number by inviting them to join our kindness revolution. And with shows like this, making people happier, that's my goal in life. And then, of course, I always add a quote when I send out these quotes every day. And I wrote, random acts of kindness enrich your life. I tell you, I was in Alexandria, Egypt. I was doing a little horse buggy ride to my destination and by myself. Get my camera out, doing little videos as I've done for the last 5 years. And he all of a sudden pulls the horse back and stops immediately, jumps out of the carriage, runs back and helps this old lady with her bags, her groceries, hails a cab for her, helps put the groceries in the cab for her. And it was a random act of kindness. And you know how he was rewarded? Of course, he didn't speak a word of English. I gave him a bigger tip because it made me happy to see people doing random acts of kindness. You know, I've talked to a lot of people over the years, and I ask people, do you open doors for people? And a lot of people say yes. And a lot of people have stopped it because people don't say thank you. What's the problem, people, with saying thank you? It's 2 words. If you're so lazy, say thanks. In here in Antigua, it's gracias. What is wrong with thanking someone for a kind word or a kind gesture? We need to say kind words to one another. Like, have a fantastic day. That always works for me. You know, the word fantastic makes you smile, which releases stress, anxiety, and depression. It's a fantastic word. I'm sticking to it. I've proven it thousands and thousands of times over. Words matter. Words affect water. And saying kind words make people feel happy. And so that's the show, The Complete Guide to Happiness. I think this is the 25th or 26th episode. Each week I interview one ambassador of kindness, and we have 11,000 now, 11,022, I think. And at that rate, one a week, in about 400 years, I'll get everyone's interview because everyone has a fantastic story. I love all my ambassadors. There's a couple I don't love now, and I don't want to talk about that today. But so enjoy the interview. Of course, you're going to have a cooking episode after the interview. And just whatever you're doing that's making you happy, keep doing it because you're here to be happy. That's your purpose in life. And of course, making other people happy, that's okay too. You know, and making our planet happy would be nice by not littering and polluting and using less water and electricity and recycling and repurposing and reformatting and doing eco art. I do a lot of eco art, as you know. Take trash and make it beautiful. It saves the landfills and it enriches people's lives. So without further ado, let's get to the interview and have a fantastic day. Be happy. Well, everyone, we have an interview with Kwaku Doyi, if I hope I got that right. He's runs a couple different schools, but under the name of RORAC, He's born in Takwa, Ghana, and you're currently in what city right now, Frank?
I'm currently in Accra, Ghana.
Okay, fantastic. And your school is called Roar Arc, right?
Yes, that's right.
Tell us, well, first, before we start with
Actually,
your school and
the
the area you live
pronunciation,
in, I want to hear about it.
yeah,
This is called the Complete Guide to Happiness show, okay? What is your definition of happiness?
well, thank you very much, Doctor, for the question. And I must say that this is a very important question. For me, happiness is any event or occurrence, anything that makes you feel comfortable, any act or action that makes you feel comfortable, and any act of kindness, anything that shows that someone cares about you gives you happiness. So for me, happiness derives from being cared for, being made comfortable, being made acceptable, being friendly to, and being accommodated. That would be my definition of happiness.
Well, that's a fantastic definition. What did you do today that made you happy?
Fantastic question, Doc. So I engage with young people as part of my work. I started the morning with a morning devotion, and then I continued by teaching young people various subjects, but particularly how to be kind to themselves, how to be kind to other people far and near, and how to be kind in terms of taking care of the planet on which we live. This has become my daily routine since the
That's
very
wonderful.
day
That's the three
I got
commitments to
introduced.
kindness.
That's right.
And you're having your students recite the Global Kindness Pledge, correct?
That's correct.
What ages are your children in your school?
Okay, so we start from crèche up to the junior high school. So the age range of the students is from 1.5 years to 16 years.
Oh, wonderful. Now, is this a free school or does it cost money?
No, it is a private
Private school.
basic school. It's a private
Okay.
school, and the school is located in a deprived community called Loye in Kasua. Loye is a suburb of Kasua, which is the capital town of the Ewutu Senya district.
Okay. We have a
All
group
right.
in Kesua. Tell us
Yes,
about
Kasua is fantastic.
that the area. I don't know anything
Oh,
about your area.
okay. So Kasua is very close to Accra. It's about 20 minutes drive from Accra. So it shares a boundary with the.
I think we just got frozen. I was hoping for a good connection this time. Let's give them another minute to reconnect. I'm looking forward to one day touring Africa. It's a big continent. It's the oldest continent on the planet and the second largest continent on the planet. 56 countries. I'm happy to report I have 34 countries with ambassadors of kindness in them. I lived in Africa, I guess you could say, because I lived in Egypt, which is part of Africa. So it looks like we lost the guest, and it was a really bad camera. I'm trying to help putting computers and what have you in some schools over there. But you can only do what you can do, and you try to work with the best people you can. And I'm just happy to be able to share a little of the insights of our fantastic ambassadors from around the world. If you're an ambassador and you'd like to be on the show, I'd love to interview you. Everyone has a fantastic story, and hopefully they're all happy because All the money in the world is not going to make you happy. Being kind will make you happy. Thanks for watching. I'm going to put another little interview on here from a gentleman in London. Very kind man, runs a private airline, Syed, and an airline as well. I mean, a private jet service, I should say. He's not very talkative, so the interview isn't fantastic, but he's a great man because he's interviewing me, he's introducing me to some really wonderful people that are becoming ambassadors, getting behind the kindness revolution and helping make the world a kinder and cleaner place, which in theory will bring happiness to a lot of people. I'd be happy to go outside and not see trash on the street, that's for sure. 4.7 trillion cigarette butts get thrown on the ground every year. Trillion. That's a lot of butts. At any rate, I hope whatever you're doing is making you happy. I hope the show put a smile on your face. Stay tuned for the cooking episode and have a fantastic week. Whatever you're doing that's making you happy, keep doing it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and share. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Welcome to the Be Fantastic channel, where you will find many fantastic interviews with amazing people.
Visit the top world museums,
Incredible zoos,
beautiful national parks.
special events, and much more.
These videos are designed to educate,
Inspire.
motivate, and entertain you.
We hope you will enjoy them.
Join the Be Fantastic philosophy.
Please subscribe.
Like and share.
Hope you had a happy last week. I hope you've been watching the show because it's been a lot of fantastic interviews. I'm actually waiting right now for Ken Baxter, who I've been waiting for the last 22 weeks, to be on the show. I just talked to him a minute ago. He may or may not tune in, but whether he does or not, and he eventually will, he's ambassador number 248 of my kindness revolution. Stands at 10,700 now. People trying to be kind, because kindness leads to happiness. And you know what makes Ken really happy is flying into outer space. He is the first civilian astronaut, and he goes by the moniker the Rocket Man. Great guy. I think he's out in California or Nevada, and met him some years ago, and we've been staying in touch. And he's actually just told me that he's going to be going to the International Space Station with Elon Musk. Wouldn't that be fantastic? So I thought maybe while I'm waiting for him, I would talk about what UFOs, UAPs. I'm an expert. I can't remember what I know about it, but I've watched literally over 1,000 hours of documentaries. I actually met an astronaut. What was his name? Drawing a blank. It was at the Playboy Mansion. At any rate, so I totally believe that they're here, and they are here, and they've been here since before mankind was here. So it's we're finally, I think 70% of Americans anyway, they took a poll, believe that we're not alone. That's the big question: are we alone? And when you realize that there's billions of galaxies, and each one of those galaxies has billions of stars, they say there's more planets that can sustain life than there are grains of sand on the planet, because there's a thing called infinity. Most humans don't comprehend infinity, because we all know that things are born and they die. Our sun was born and it will die. Our earth was born and it will die. We were born and we will die. And so it's really important to be happy while you're here. And that's what this show is all about. But I'm really happy talking about UFOs, because I'd like to be picked up. I think my wife actually said I'm from a different planet, because I don't think like most human beings. And I always thought it was a put down, but now I realize it's a compliment. And my last girlfriend, or my girlfriend in Belize, said I'm from the planet Pleiades. And Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. I used to have dreams as a child that I would drive a lot of spacecraft, and that was kind of fun. But there's so much hard evidence that they're here. The Nazca lines, lines that you can't see on the planet, when standing on the ground. You have to be up in space to see it. The Madonna, the painting of the Madonna has a spaceship in the flying saucer in the background with a man pointing at it way in the background. Cave drawings, Egyptian hieroglyphs. Um, there's things that we can't build today, so you might want to think that they were built by with different technologies from different planets. In 1942, or 47 rather, when the Roswell crash occurred, there's testimony and credible witnesses that saw the aliens. One lived, and it lived for about, I think, 3 or 4 years after the crash. We reverse engineered a lot of stuff, lasers, because all of a sudden it was a huge expanse of technology after we retrieved some of these spacecraft. And the government is holding back the really great stuff because let's say there's free energy, and then there is free energy. Tesla proved that, and he was killed for it. But it doesn't make sense to bring it out because the corporate system is all about greed, all about money. The first electric cars that came out, they squished them after the first leases were done because it was hurting the gas economy. I mean, it's all about petrol. The whole system is built on petrol. Free electricity, free energy is going to ruin a lot of rich people's businesses, and that they don't like that. They like to have the money. Corporate greed is what's destroyed the world. Wars make money, but here's what's going to happen with the aliens. They're going to tell you that they're a threat. Right now, they're saying that it's dangerous because of the skies. We might crash into them, but they're going to say they're a threat to humanity, and so they're going to convince everyone with fear that we need to spend trillions of dollars to protect the planet. That's what they're going to come out with. Watch, like they said, we need billions of dollars to protect you from COVID that man created, that man patented, that man released, and man made billions of dollars on. So it's corporate greed is what got me on my mission to try to save the planet from the insanity of humanity. But getting back to aliens, there is just so much evidence, hard evidence that they exist. And we're getting ready to understand well, humanity is getting ready to accept that we're not alone. Congressional meetings, many people under oath testified. For years, if you were a pilot and you reported what they were seeing, and they see it all the time, you were grounded. So you didn't report things. And the government always came up with great stories, like after Roswell, that it was a balloon. Because, and a lot of presidents, when they get elected, the ufologists say, please tell the world that there's aliens. And so when they get elected, after they're saying they're going to do that, the real smart consultants come in, advisors, and say, Mr. President, if you're the one that comes out in history to say that there are aliens, that's not good for your reputation. And now it's all about egos anyway, right? So they never have the nerve to do it. But when there's so much evidence, you can't. Hopefully, if you want to learn about it, you just have to Google it once, and you'll see hundreds, if not thousands, of documentaries. I watched one the other day from National Geographic, the best companies on the planet that do fantastic documentaries are producing information on aliens. And there's a lot of different types of races, not just one. There's not just the grays. There's all kind of different races. It's hard to imagine that people today don't believe in it, and that's because they didn't look at the facts. You need to study it. You need to hear from astronauts. Buzz Aldrin, that's who I met at the Playboy Mansion, and he admits he was tracked for 3 days, flying to the moon with a light on the outside of the spacecraft. and they move at incredible speeds, and they turn right at those speeds. Anything biological would be mush, turning right angles at 13,000 or more miles per hour. And we have radar. Radar doesn't lie. Sonar doesn't lie. Christopher Columbus sailing to America. I'm a captain, boat captain, and boat captains keep a log of what occurred during that day or the night. And one night on his sail to America with some of the officers on board, it was at night, a light came out of the ocean and shot to the heavens in an instant. They all saw it, and he wrote it in his log. So that's documentation from Christopher Columbus. I don't know who in your mind would have to tell you that there's aliens. A senator, Carter saw one. Nixon actually brought what was his name? The comedian, a very famous comedian who was one of his best friends. He showed him some aliens. So some presidents have been shown the technology. They're here. They're not a threat. They're benevolent. Is the way I see it. The smarter you get, the kinder you're going to be. I think intelligent people aren't evil, unless they're really, really greedy. Then that might be the case. But so let me think. What else can I talk about? In 1942, in Los Angeles, they had what's called the Battle of LA, and they fired 1,800 rounds of ammunition, cannons or whatever they were using back then, mortars, at an object in the sky. And it was all over the newspapers. I mean, countless newspaper articles of witnessing aliens. They're countless. There's tens of thousands of documented cases. Some, of course, are because it's unidentified flying. They do identify them as planes, but they were flying before man was in the air. They've been flying since the 1700s and 1500s and throughout history. And they've made paintings. Back then they didn't take photographs. They made paintings of things. And throughout the Vatican, I just learned, I learned it from a while ago, but I relearned it. Vatican has a treasure trove of alien artifacts and proof that aliens are here. Of course, one of the reasons I think they don't want to show aliens, and especially happened in War of the Worlds, the movie, they thought it was a real alien invasion, so people jumped out of buildings and killed themselves. And what happens is I think religion goes out the door when aliens are proven that we're not alone. But maybe people are going to probably say God created aliens, which is fine. People believe in God, and that's their prerogative. I think aliens helped build the pyramids. I was at the pyramids. It doesn't make any sense. I'm a logical guy. I'm an inventor as well as being a TV show host, radio show host, philosopher, motivational speaker, artist. And so the pyramids, I think there are 2 million blocks that they say the structure was built in 20 years. So they did the math and they had to calculate that, or they did calculate that each one of those blocks that we can't hardly move today, I mean, not in 20 minutes anyway, were laid every 20 minutes, day and night for 20 years. It had to, because the number of blocks that they're there, the 2 million blocks. And they had to be transported 200 miles. So they had to be cut, transport, laid, and built with intricate tunnels inside without a razor blade being able to fit between the blocks. Explain that, Lucy. So basically, if you just think about the logistics, how do they communicate to the cutter and the people that are transporting it? Because with 10,000, they say, I think it took 10,000 men. Well, 10,000 men need, at least 500 bosses, and those 500 bosses need at least 10 directors. So to have a corporation that big, you need management. And what's the communication? And inside the tombs that they build at night and all that stuff, there's no soot from torches because they had light. It had to be laid every 20 minutes, day and night. It's just, think about it, it's ridiculous. So I think they had a levitation. I think they had help from aliens. There's temples all around the world that are lined up. They line up around the world, and we didn't have technology to communicate to other countries. Put it in this position, put it in that position. It's pretty bizarre if you just delve into the facts that there are hundreds of pyramids that are lined up, and they're precise, and the measurements are precise, beyond precise. I mean, what you should watch a movie or a documentary called The Revelation of the Pyramids, one of the best documentaries ever. And it's not just about pyramids, it's about life and the golden number and what have you, but it's a phenomenal show. There's so many fantastic documentaries on the phenomenon, which they now call unidentified aerial phenomenon. Now they also have USOs, unidentified submersible objects that were traced on sonar, which is not is very accurate, that are very, very fast, faster than anything that we could ever build without making a wave. So I think it's displacing the water as it goes through it. And of course, they come out of the ocean all the time, especially the one in 42 that was bombarded with 1,800 shells. I mean, yeah, it was in Santa Monica, my hometown. I mean, LA is my hometown. I just love it. And I started a group. It's a WhatsApp group called UAP for the enthusiasts, because I want to learn more. I want them to take me. I want to see what it's like in outer space. And that's where Ken was supposed to be here and talk about his first flight into outer space, which is pretty freaking cool. He'll join us eventually, but I think this episode is just going to be about me rambling about unidentified flying objects, abductions. Many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, and this is around the world. You know, America has been the one that really kept it under wraps and made fake stories to cover it up and propaganda. But all over the world, China, Russia, Germany, the Belgium wave, and these sometimes there's 70,000 or more people that witnessed it. I think there was 10,000 witnessed the Phoenix lights. That was in the 80s. A 2-mile wide craft flew over the city silently with, I think it had 7 lights, and the governor saw it. Over 10,000 people saw it, documented. It's in the papers. Of course, government covered that up. There's been so many sightings. Washington in the, what was it, the 80s or something, had a big flyover of a bunch of UFOs, and sometimes they're orbs. They're just maybe this big. That they're lights. They're probably what are you going to call, surveys from the craft. My son, well, first off, his wife, they were living in Ojai, California, and she saw this orb come out of the tree and from the backyard. They lived on about an acre, and shoot off to the no, shot off to the left. And she couldn't believe what she saw, because when you finally see it, then you're a believer. You have to see it with your own eyes, because they're just saying, believe nothing what you hear and half of what you see. So it shut off, and she goes, Lester, come to see. I mean, she was like freaking out. And he goes, what? It was this light, and it did this and did that. And then all of a sudden it comes back. My son's very credible, very solid. When I grow up, I want to be just like him. And he came back and he saw it, and then it shot over the mountain in a split second without a sound. Yeah, it's a drone, right? No. So that was, like I say, it's probably a drone from an alien spacecraft doing research or whatever they do. Now let's go to cattle abductions. Okay, not abductions, mutilations, cattle mutilations. I mean, these farmers aren't happy when they go out and they have a dozen or more of their cattle with their organs removed without any blood. There's no blood, and the incisions are like a surgeon. And this is all over the world. Again, animal mutilations, not just cattle, but a lot of cattle. They're probably just doing research again. Let's go to crop circles. I became interested in crop circles when I had a post-production company in Los Angeles. And am I recording this? It'd be a real shame if I did I hit record? My memory. Anyway, I'll just keep rambling. So I had this post-production company, and I would turn VHS tapes into NTSC tapes into PAL, which is the European standard. Not now, but that was back then in the 80s. And so I had a client called Delighter Productions, and he was an expert on crop circles. Crop circles are amazing. Now, they did have some guys that went out and made some crop circles. They just pushed the wheat down and made nice little patterns. But most of the really intricate ones, and they're all over the world, are done at night with a beam, like probably radiation. But they studied and they looked at the real crop circles, and they saw the wheat that was bent over, but it grew at a 90-degree angle. It wasn't crushed like the humans that did it and pushed over the wheat. It would bend. Pretty amazing. So there's a lot to crop circles. They're gorgeous. They found a stone, and funny enough, it was an old stone. I don't know, I can't remember exactly the details, but that stone had an image carved into it, and they found a crop circle with the exact same image. So these crop circles are messages, because they don't speak English. Aliens don't speak English. They don't speak French or German or Spanish or Swahili or Chinese. Aliens communicate telepathically. And one of my things is that humans one day will also communicate telepathically. We already do to a small extent. Actually, I always like to use my dog as an example. I would come home, and my little toy Yorkie would look at me like this, and I know she did something wrong. Typically, she got into the trash, which is my fault for leaving it out, not putting it on top of the counter. She's a dog. I mean, dog's looking for food. I did feed my dog, trust me. At any rate, so she knew she was going to be in trouble, and she communicated that way. Your mother would just give you a look, and you knew exactly you're in trouble or whatever. Lovers communicate telepathically. So when we get real smart, and we are far from being smart, we're actually the dumbest creatures on the planet. We do some ridiculously dumb things. If I was an alien, I wouldn't come and speak to humans. When you're walking down the street and you see an ant farm, do you stop and try to communicate with the ants? No, because you're above them. Aliens are above us, so they're not gonna. I mean, what are they gonna learn from us, really? We are destroying our planet, as you all know. We're greedy human beings. We're evil from the get-go, from the gladiators cutting off men's heads and feeding them to the lions, to burning witches in Salem, Massachusetts, to the horrible things mankind has done. I'm doing a bit on Fridays now at the local bar here, and it's going to be called Life, Love, and the Pursuit of Happiness. But I'm going to tease humanity, because it does need to be teased, because it's the insanity of humanity. What we've done through the ages and what we still continue to do is insane. And that's why the aliens, they are here to protect us. They go to nuclear plants and shut them down. They haven't launched any, and they can, I'm sure, but they've actually shut them down. They physically shut them down. There's so much proof to this, it's not even funny. I think they mostly started reappearing after we started exploding nuclear bombs in the atmosphere. That was brilliant, right? I don't know how much of the atmosphere we polluted with nuclear bombs, but then we got kind of smart and said, well, let's do them underground. That's really smart too. Now we're destroying what's underneath the surface. The insanity of humanity. So I gotta believe that aliens are here to protect us. I just watched a movie called The 27th Hour, and aliens picked up 5 people. They gave them a device that said, if in 27 days you don't stop peace. We're going to take over your planet. We're going to kill everybody because this bomb was going to go off in 27 days and kill everybody, only the humans, not the dolphins, not the ants. And so basically, it was one of those 50s movies. They're really fun to watch, these old 50s sci-fi movies. So they've been indoctrinating us. Third Rock from the Sun, the comedy, John Lithgow, where people came from outer space and didn't get what was going on, and that was a hilarious show. If you've never seen it, you should watch it. Very, very funny show. What else? War of the Worlds, again, that was a play that was done that scared the shit out of everybody. E.T. Now, E.T. Spielberg actually met with the scientists that was working with E.T. and learned a lot. And so that's a very realistic portrayal of communicating with E.T., the extraterrestrial. So many fantastic movies. I like Mars Attacks. That was pretty funny movie. I love movies. The way I see it, if an alien came here and didn't know English, of course, or Spanish, and wanted to learn about humanity, all they had to do is watch every movie ever made. Because movies, and I was raised in the movie business, my uncle was an Academy Award winner. They are written by very smart people, produced by very smart people, directed by very smart people. The costumes are authentic because there's a recorded history. If you watch a Western, that's how they dressed. If you watch a film like The Gladiator, that's how they dressed. That's how they acted, because it's written in history how that was. So you really get the portrayal of humanity from 2001: A Space Odyssey with the monkeys jumping around. And there's, and then there's the futuristic movies. What's going to happen in our future. They say you can't imagine something that's not possible. So we've imagined Star Trek. Beam me up, Scotty. Traveling to to other civilizations and trying to figure out what's going on. We are going to leave the planet. We're leaving it in a complete mess, by the way. So much trash. 8 billion people throwing trash every day. Not everyone throws it on the ground, but we throw it in a receptacle. The receptacle is picked up by the trash man. The trash man puts it in a dump. Typically, they bury it in the earth. Sometimes they recycle. That's good. Imagine if we recycled 50 years ago or 100 years ago. Plastics, boy, that's what's really destroyed things. I met a guy who held the first piece of plastic. So I've got 10,000 tales, a story for every occasion. I like to share them with everyone, and people seem to like to hear them. Thus, shows like this. This is about kindness, though. We need to be kind. The aliens are kind. We need to be happy because kindness leads to happiness. The only purpose is to be happy. Now, are aliens happy? I don't know. I know I'm happy. I'm happy doing this, taking my time to try to recall. I wish I had recall. Total Recall, another futuristic movie. I met Ronald Reagan. He dated my mother. He had total recall until he had no recall. Mary Lou Henner has total recall. Imagine recalling your 5th birthday or any other day in your life, and like it's a photograph, like this right now. There's a statue over there, a chest of drawers, a bed with a red cloth on it, a mobile. Remembering that every moment of your life, and we just don't know how to pull it out because our brains are better than the super quantum computers that they're developing today. And I think computers, I think man created computers. Aliens didn't help us with that. They did help us with the laser beam and I think transistors and a few other things because we reverse engineered their spacecraft. And so a lot of the UFOs we're seeing are UFOs, but we didn't tell you about the stealth bomber for many years. We didn't tell you about a lot of aircraft that we have. Supposedly the technology we have is 50 years in the future. And what reason it doesn't make sense to come out is because it will destroy economy. It'll destroy, like if you cure cancer right now, and there's many cures for cancer, it destroys a lot of business. And the business is owned by the rich people, and the rich people love disease. They love diabetes. They love cancer. They loved COVID. They love wars because it makes them a lot of money. It's all about money. And that's what set me on my mission. I'm just pissed that it's such a greedy, greedy, greedy world. Because we wouldn't have poverty if all the trillionaires out there, and there are trillionaires, by the way, would help humanity. But we love to keep our money and buy fancy things with it. You're never going to see a hearse with a trailer hitch on it because you can't take it with you. I always say you should die in debt. And that's just, a little thing of mine. I wouldn't want to die with $100 million in the bank. That's for damn sure. And they say, well, what about your kids? If you spoil your kids, you're an idiot. Spoiling children is the worst thing you could do. They need, because free, what I'm doing here is free. People don't respect free. Free there's no inherent value because you didn't pay anything for it. My Be Fantastic movement is free. It's my gift to the world. But people, one ear out the other, a lot of people, 10,700 have said yes. I think that's fantastic. Whether they are saying the word fantastic, which releases stress, anxiety, and depression, yeah, it's a tough word to say. But you're going to start hearing it. Trump's saying it now. What's his name? The big speaker, John. There's a big speaker, one of the top speakers in the world, and he heard about my mission, and then he's now saying, if you say the word fantastic, you feel fantastic. I'll think of his name in a minute. Most of the motivational speakers out there are motivating you to make money, and you got to make money. Granted, I'm motivating you to be happy. That's what I'm trying to do. Make you happy, and it's up to you to be happy. No one's going to make you happy, but if you're kind, you'll find that you're going to be happy. Doing kind things for others makes you happy. And that's our goal in life, to be happy. And some people make it tough. They just, I don't know. There's a lot of evil out there. Walk away from evil, walk away from fights, walk away from negativity, get rid of negative people and negative thinking in your life. It's cancerous to your health. See, I get distracted sometimes. Let me get back to aliens. What are the other, the Belgium wave I talked about? That was weeks of sightings. They just recently, New Jersey had a bunch of drones the size of automobiles. Now government saying it was theirs, which is kind of interesting. Because the government's always going to come up with a cover story. They don't want us to know it yet, but we're in Congress, or they're documentaries with the most intelligent people on the planet. It would be great if Ken just decided to call in. Let me give him a call. He answered before, but he's a busy guy. He's an extremely wealthy guy, big developer. Funny guy, got the same haircut I have. Ambassador 248. Come on, Ken, pick up. Talk about aliens. Excuse me. Getting parched here. No, he's not going to answer. And then the other guest I've been trying to get for a long time, who said he was going to do it, is Doug Ivanovich, who did, some of the biggest concerts on the planet. And I plan on doing some of those as well to spread the kindness revolution. I call it the kindness revolution. If everyone's kind, the world will be a happy place. Don't worry, be happy. What other alien stories do I have? I saw an artifact in the Cairo Museum that man can't make today. It was a carving out of a granite, and it was maybe 1/8 of an inch thick when it curved up, and a 1/4 of an inch on the bottom. It looked like a hubcap. We can't make that today. It's too brittle. I mean, we just can't do it today. There's lots of things we can't build today. We can't build a pyramid. We tried to make a mini pyramid once. That didn't happen. Let me think. This is live. I'm a one take wonder. My Be Fantastic channel, over 2,100 videos. Only one take. I don't do two takes. I do one take. It's from the heart. It's nothing fancy. And it's, if you like it, fantastic. If you don't like it, there's 5 million other podcasts you can watch. But this one does resonate with a lot of people because it's based on kindness. The 2 words that will save the planet: be kind. The word fantastic will make you look and feel fantastic. It will reduce your stress, anxiety, and depression. It's contagious to say it to someone else because that makes them smile. Smiling and laughing. And that's why I'm doing this comedy routine on Fridays at 5 on the Be Fantastic channel, to make people laugh. And I'm not afraid to fail. People always say, "Oh," when I did my my TV show in Belize, my girlfriend said, "Oh, you're afraid it's going to fail?" I said, "No, fail is just first attempt in learning. Nothing wrong with failing. You should fail as often as you can, because if you're not failing, you're not learning." You know. Get back to. I got to keep getting back to aliens. Stephen Greer, an expert, devoted his life, big portion of it, to uncovering the truth. He brings out people, and consciously, they say that if you all get together, a big group, and you consciously will the craft, they hear that, they feel it, whatever, telepathically again, because telepathy and quantum entanglement has been proven. So I call people all the time, and they'll say, "I was just thinking about you." There's something to that. They could take a piece of your skin, go across the planet, poke it, and you'll feel it. That's quantum entanglement. It's bizarre. And if a woman talked about that in the 1700s, she was burned as a witch. If she talked about flying aircraft, she was burned as a witch. It's a shame that we killed so many people. There's a guy, I was just heard in the Vatican. He was burned because he was talking about aliens back in the 1700s. Very famous guy. The insanity of humanity. At any rate, I think I'm going to tune out now. I think you've heard enough of my rambling on UFOs. Let me think. What else can I say about UFOs? I might think about a couple, because this isn't going to air for a couple weeks, so I might add a couple more pieces to this if I could recollect the pieces. There's so much information; it's ridiculous. There's more information that than you have time to watch, and every day a new documentary is coming out. Every day a new testimonial, because people aren't so ashamed to talk about it anymore. They were ashamed. They were ridiculed in the past to talk about what they saw if they were abducted. And there's photographs of cattle mutilations. How do you take all the organs out of a cow without spilling any blood, without a drop of blood? This is facts. How can these crop circles appear overnight? The most elaborate things that you've ever seen in your life, and they're beautiful. They really are a work of art. Man can't do that. Man has done something, like I said before. You just can't explain this stuff. We're seeing craft that we can't possibly mimic the movements of every day. Japan Airlines in '86 was tracked for I don't know, a couple hours, I think it was, with two orbs, and they radioed the towers and said, "Do you see anything in front of us?" They said, "No, nothing on the screen." And sometimes they just disappear. They literally disappear, not just shoot off at light speed, just disappear. And sometimes there's hundreds of them. Sometimes there's just one. Do some research for yourself. Learn about it. Accept it. Don't believe that the government said that we need to spend trillions of dollars to protect us. We should, there's not so many that I think our airspace is jeopardized. We haven't crashed any airplanes into them, I don't think. So I don't think that's a threat, because they're fast. They're very fast. Anyway, so if I don't come back there, I hope you enjoyed this little episode on UFOs for the complete guide to kindness. We'll add a cooking episode. Alien soup, I think it is, my recipe for alien soup. Who knows? Anyway, thanks for watching. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, be kind to the planet. Kindness leads to happiness. And whatever you've been doing that's making you happy, keep doing it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Be fantastic. Talk to you soon.
Forsan Records is proud to introduce the newest album from Valena, including the singles Cut Me to the Quick, and Remedy. Valena, Save Me From Myself, available now wherever you get your music.
You guessed it. It's that time of the show for Dr. Fantastic Cooks. Hundreds of different episodes of me cooking from around the world, easy, fast, even economical, and delicious recipes. Yesterday, I made 2 days ago, I made a chili. It was off the charts. Only used 3 beans because that's all I could find for that particular, on that particular day. I threw actually some potatoes in it, which I don't usually do, 1 potato. And some onions, of course, and it was delicious. Actually, a friend came over and I had him taste it, and he said, "It tastes like Wendy's chili." I'm not sure if that was a compliment or not, but obviously Wendy's probably sells a lot of chili. So if you like the Wendy's chili, and obviously I think he does, it tasted like Wendy's chili. But I just love cooking and I love eating, and I love to share these recipes that are fast, easy, economical, and delicious. That chili the other day cost me, what was it? $2 in beef, probably another $3 in the beans. And that's, the package. I have a packaged chili mix I use, And that's not cheating. These people developed it with thousands of dollars invested to make sure it has all the spices, El Paso is the brand, by the way. Just so you want to buy El Paso chili or taco mix. They both great mixes, and it's delicious. It's tried and true. Nothing wrong with using a package like that. Enjoy the cooking show, and I'll see you at the end of the episode, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. Use it, cook it, eat it, love it. Be fantastic. Eat, get in the kitchen, teach your family to cook, and always eat together every night. That's the secret to a happy family. Eating dinner every night. Take off work, go back to the kids, the family, eat dinner, then go back to work if you love working that much. Be with your kids. It's very important.
How would you like to learn how to make shepherd's pie? Lamb shepherd's pie. Well, stay tuned. Welcome to another episode of Dr. Fantastic Cooks. I'm in my kitchen in Ambergris Key Island in Belize, and been here 5 months now, and done a few of these cooking episodes. I've done a lot of them over across America, in Ukraine, in Egypt, a lot in Egypt, and I'm going to be leaving the island, and hopefully you'll follow me while I go around the world and cook in more places, giving you my favorite recipes and what have you. Today I'm cooking something I've never cooked before, shepherd's pie. And so I looked up some recipes and found one I liked, and I had most of the ingredients. I think I have all the ingredients, actually. But, I've gained a lot of weight on the island. And the first commitment to kindness is be kind to yourself. I love to eat. So I'm gaining weight. Does it bother me? No. I mean, I'm not thrilled about it, but I'm not quite exercising enough as I should. I do a little bit of exercise. But I have a little saying, if you want to lose weight, which a lot of people do, or if you want to gain weight, it's the same 4 letters. It's E-L-E-M. Remember that, E-L-E-M, whether you want to lose weight or gain weight. If you want to gain weight, exercise less and eat more, which I'm doing. If you want to lose weight, it's eat less and exercise more. E-L-E-M. And because,
but you got to be happy how you are. You got to love yourself. If you're fat, if you're skinny, love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, who the hell's going to love you? And we all need love. We all need happiness. And that's what I'm traveling around the world, to spread kindness. Because when you're kind to people, they love you. And it also, there's a report out of Ohio that says if you do random acts of kindness or kind, it reduces stress, anxiety, and depression. How about that? So what are we going to do here? We're going to fire it up. It's I made the mashed potatoes ahead of time, and I usually don't put garlic in my mashed potatoes, but I did. I did today, and I just tested them. Oh, butter, half and half, garlic. Oh, delicious. But I cooked them ahead of time because on a shepherd's pie, they go on top of the meal or the dish, and they're going to be baked, so they're going to warm up anyway. So what are we going to do here? We're going to heat the pan. I thought I got everything ready, but, this is live television, so well, there you go. Heating the pan, throw a little oil in there, not much. You don't need much. Tablespoon, I think that's what it calls for. I've got my little cheat notes here because as I've never cooked this before, I had to write down exactly the steps. So, typically it's hot on the island, so I have a fan blowing, and typically it blows the flames, so it's not quite as hot as it should be. Let me just turn it a little bit. I'll suffer for you guys. I'm suffering for you here. Okay, so that's heating up. So one white onion, white, red, green, whatever you want to use, but calls for white onion, so I like red onion myself. Oh, here's another thing. I made earlier, because I like to eat while I'm cooking, I made some pico de gallo. Some people call it salsa. And, I have certain rules about cooking. And one of the rules is to have fun in the kitchen. Cooking's fun. Teach your spouse, teach your boyfriend or girlfriend, teach your kids. Cooking is so much fun. And eating is even more fun. But one of my rules is, I have certain rules for cooking, and that's to have a cocktail while you're cooking, because if it doesn't come out, you don't feel so bad because you had a cocktail or two. So here's to cooking. Second rule is, I can do anything in life if I have the right tools. In cooking, hold a knife. Measuring cups, I don't usually use measuring cups too much, but as I've never cooked this before, I am using measuring cups. So you saute the onions, and this, you can use beef or you could use ground lamb. I am using ground lamb. I made a lamb curry last week. It's on the show here. It was off the charts. Made steak tartare last night. Delicious. Night before, fresh lobster. It's lobster season here on the island. That was fantastic. Oh my God, it was delicious. Served it on some fettuccine with cream sauce. It was great. Oh, so here's what I was going to say. Because I like to eat while I'm cooking, I made some pico de gallo. And pico de gallo is just tomatoes, jalapenos, cilantro, red onion. And you can see how that looks there. It's just delicious. Meaty meat. Just about 5 minutes for onions to break down. I put onions in everything. I love onions. I put them in salad. I can't cook eggs or anything without onion. I just think it adds flavor to it all. I typically eat half a meal while I'm cooking as well. I like eating. Life is what you make it. One of my sayings as a philosopher, self-appointed philosopher that is your life is a movie. You're the star of that movie. You're the writer, director, and producer of that movie. Make a fantastic movie. No one's going to make it for you. You have to make it yourself. Now, I'm going to be sweating here in this kitchen because cooking, while it's fun, it's hot in the kitchen. That's why cold beer is always great. Oh, that tastes good. I'm having so much fun. Have fun in the kitchen. Have fun. I tell you, when COVID first started, that's when I started my journey, 1,187 days now. And I give a lot of advice to people because they were sequestered in their home. I wasn't. I wasn't about to stay in my home. So I left everything behind, gave everything to my wife. Kids are already grown. And decided to go around the world and teach the 3 commitments to kindness, which quite literally, as you all know by now, solve all mankind's problems. It stops war, violence, pollution, everything. Okay, so that's about cooked. Looks pretty good. Now, ground lamb. You can't go wrong with lamb. Go with the wood one now. Gotta love cooking. Gotta love eating. You know, life is very short. And if you know how to cook, you don't have to rely on anyone. You know, imagine if we have problems, the world has problems, and you have to cook. You can't go, the electricity goes out, or you have to learn, you have to be able to fend for yourself. Boy, you got to know how to cook. Can't depend on other people. You can't depend on anyone but yourself. You are the center of the universe. You are the most important person on the planet. The most important person on the planet. You. Gain some weight. Don't bother yourself. Stress will kill you. It killed my mother in her 30s. I think 38, 39. Killed her. Stress kills. The mind is amazing. If you know about the subconscious or even the conscious mind, it's pretty incredible. Pretty incredible. You could will yourself to death. You could will yourself out of sickness. I just saw a report the other day, or a story. Guy had, arthritis, and they said, you're going to need an operation. But we can do that. So they put him under, and they didn't do the operation. And when he came out from being under the anesthesia, they said, operation was a fantastic success. And guess what? He didn't have arthritis anymore because he thought they did the right thing. Placebo works all the time. The mind is amazing. And in the future, we're going to use telepathy to speak to one another. We already kind of do. Your dog will give you an idea. Even your dog will look at you and you know he got into some trouble. Or the wife gives you a look and you know what she's thinking. You know what she's mad or whatever. So we are amazing creatures. And the mind is just being discovered, the powers. And they say we're all one. We're all one mind. Some real brilliant guy like Einstein said that. We are all one mind. We're all one in the universe. And they're discovering quantum entanglement. They're discovering some amazing things. There's not enough time, and I've dedicated my life to learning, not working. But there's so much information coming out every day. So much information. It's mind-boggling. Now I'm going to turn. It just seems like me. It's not quite enough. It's that fan. I'm going to turn it some more because I need to. You gotta have the heat. It's like cooking outdoors. You ever cooked outdoors in a storm or in a wind storm? I did one of my cooking shows in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Outdoors, I cooked bear stew. Guy gave me a couple pounds of bear meat. And when you go camping, typically everyone's got their little campsite and they're all being with their family. But, I'm a kind of an extrovert. And I invited all the campsites to come enjoy my beef stew. Made a lot of ambassadors that day. We have over 6,700 ambassadors now. Fantastic. Okay, so it's almost brown. You can't quite see it. This is a low-end production. If you do this professionally with a team, you have a couple cameras, but you know what browning meat looks like. It's just about there. I'm having fun eating my pico de gallo, drinking my beer. Got to have fun in the kitchen. Teach the kids to cook. The more you know, the easier your life is, and the more valuable you are to others. I once charged $700 to cook a meal in Marina del Rey. Salmon. It was delicious. So if you like what I'm doing here, and you like the Be Fantastic philosophy and the 3 commitments to kindness, please subscribe, like, and share. I'm very happy to report that as of the last week, every day, someone's deciding to be an admin in their village, city, or town, and people are deciding to be directors. My goal is to have one director in every country, 195 countries, and one admin in every city. There's 10,000 cities. Imagine if we can accomplish this, or when we accomplish this, I should say, possibly and practically the most positive person on the planet. When we accomplish this, it's going to be quite amazing. It's going to be fantastic. Okay, so I'm ready to put the ingredients in. Let me get a tablespoon. I've got some sort of a tablespoon. But what we're going to do here, okay, let's make sure this is right. It's 2 teaspoons. So I'm going to get a teaspoon. Oh, this is a teaspoon. This thing's a teaspoon in here. That's a 1/4 teaspoon. This is 1 teaspoon, this little guy here. So it calls for 2 teaspoons of parsley. Made a mess in my book here. Damn. You know, sometimes you make a mess. That's why it's good to have an assistant that cleans up the mess. Okay, so 2 parsleys. Let's see how we go here. I usually never measure, but there's 1, 2. There we go. Look at that. I just bought this today because we didn't have any. Okay. 1 teaspoon of rosemary. Look at that. There we go. It's a little bit more powerful, I guess. That's why it's only 1. And 1 teaspoon of thyme. Does anybody really know what thyme it is? Does anybody really care? And there's the thyme. Okay, so that's the spices. Salt and pepper, of course. I'll do that in a minute. Woo! Mix it up. Now it's all brown. Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. And I believe it calls for some Worcestershire sauce. It calls for a teaspoon of that, I believe. That's a teaspoon. Gotta love that stuff. It calls for garlic. Now I put a little bit more than 2 cloves in the mashed potatoes, and this is about 2 cloves in there. Gotta love garlic. Also calls for garlic powder. Calls for 2 teaspoons of flour. Let's get that going. Okay, 2 teaspoons or 2 tablespoons? 2 tablespoons of powder. So we're going to go just the regular spoon. 1. This gives it a little thickening. 2. You know, baking is tough. Cooking is easy because you can't make too many mistakes. If you like garlic, put more in it. If you don't like garlic, don't put it in it. You know. Oh, smelling fantastic. Okay, so what else we need here? Broth. Cup of beef broth. That was from a powder. Thought I mixed that pretty well. These plastic spatulas are great. They get everything out. And we're going to put in a cup of corn. They called for frozen corn. Couldn't find frozen corn. Peas and carrots. I took the juices out of those cans. Tablespoon of 2 tablespoons, I believe it is. 2 tablespoons, yep, of tomato paste. Woo, that's a lot right there. You can't put too much in. Okay, let's mix that all up. Are you enjoying this? Wish you could join me for it. Starting to look very colorful here. You got the red, you got the orange, you got the yellow, or the red of the paste, of course. Oh, it's looking very nice. Let's see if I forgot anything. Well, let's get some pepper in there. You gotta have pepper. Teaspoon of pepper. See how that was exactly measured? This is Himalayan pink salt. I might go to the Himalayas. You know, I'm supposed to go to Sri Lanka on middle of the month for a speech. If it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, wasn't meant to be. And so if I don't go there, because I am leaving the island, I'll probably go to like Mexico and all those countries in that area. What do they call it? Central America. I know it's a little dangerous, but danger's my middle name. Okay, that's looking pretty darn good. Can you see that from there? Look at that. Yeah, it's looking very good. Shepherd's pie, a very hearty meal. I'm gaining so much weight. It's a little ridiculous, but I know I can lose it. It's just, it took me 5 months to gain it. See, a lot of people, they gain weight over years, and then they want to go to the gym, and they think they can lose it in 3 months. If you put on weight and didn't exercise for 5 years, figure it's going to take 5 years to take it off. I mean, you could really kill yourself and get it off quicker, but why kill yourself? Just eat less and exercise more. That's all. Real simple. Okay. I think I got everything. Got the flour, Worcestershire, corn, vegetables, broth, paste, flour, garlic, Worcestershire sauce, thyme, rosemary. Got it all in there. So now, the meat's cooked. Again, you don't have to cook it all up. You mix it all up because it's going to bake. It's going to bake. So you don't really have to cook the corn right now. Now, oh, did I put the garlic powder in yet? I don't think so. It called for garlic. There's garlic salt and there's garlic powder. I knew I forgot something. If I forgot it, that's okay. It's not such a bad thing. I don't know why they would call for garlic powder, not garlic salt, but I had both, so called for garlic. If you don't have garlic powder, maybe put all three: garlic powder, salt, and real garlic. So it's garlicky. Okay, so now, okay, casserole dish. Can you see that okay? Okay, here we go. There we go. Look at that. And you're going to bake it for 45 minutes, 325. Now, as this is the first time making this, it was a pound of lamb, as you saw there. Then, look at this. It's coming out nicely. You make a layer of goes on top like that. Hopefully I made enough. It was 2 large potatoes. And I tell you, I'm going to use that recipe for every time I make mashed potatoes. Typically, I like it chunky, but this called for creamy, so I made it creamy. And I'm just going to make sure that I get enough to cover the whole thing, which I'm getting close to not doing. I should have made another potato, but like I said, this is my first time trying it. I think it's coming out fairly close. Gotta love these spatulas. It's a layer, it's not the end of the world if you didn't see that. Look at that. Now, I'm not sure if they call for the Parmesan to be put on top,
but it wouldn't hurt to put a layer of cheese on top. Look at that, guys. Notice some fantastic potatoes. Then you bake it. Bake it in a little while. I'm not going to bake it right now. And there you go. What else can I say? Have fun in the kitchen. Don't be afraid. But it is dangerous. Knives are sharp, so be careful of that. The other day I was making French fries to go with the tartare, and I put them in a little bit too fast, and it's splattered, and I burned my finger. So that's a bummer. But that's life in the kitchen. And I didn't wear my apron. Shit. I hope you heard all that. What can you do? It's live TV. I didn't notice that it went inside like that. Hopefully you heard everything. If not, that's life. Have a fantastic day, and like, subscribe, and share.
And so ends another episode of The Complete Guide to Happiness. Hope I put a smile on your face. Those two gentlemen were very, very kind people, part of the kindness revolution. You know, and it doesn't cost anything to be kind. It really doesn't. It doesn't cost anything to be part of this kindness revolution. You know, a lot of them are children who don't have phones, but they've agreed to follow the 3 commitments. As Frank aptly put, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, be kind to Mother Earth. It's a simple solution to man's problems. I hope you're part of it. And if you're not, be part of it. And if you are part of it, invite your family and friends and associates to be part of it. You know, it's a big community of kind people sharing kind things and kind thoughts and kind quotes and positive information. No business, although we have a business group for people that want to conduct business. No religion, but we have religious groups for those that like to talk about religion. And no political, and we don't have a political group yet. But politics is so divisive because you can't make everyone happy. No matter who gets elected, half the people are pissed. So, you know, it is what it is. But anyway, so until next week, whatever you're doing that makes you happy, keep doing it. Try to be kind to others. Do random acts of kindness. It will make you happy. Being kind to others makes you happy. It's the endorphins, the dopamine, and the serotonin that are released. And saying fantastic makes you happy because it releases those same neuromessaging units. The smile is easy to give. It can make someone's day. And laughter is the best medicine. You live an hour longer when you laugh, and you live 5 minutes longer when you smile. Keep smiling, keep being happy, and let me know if you want to be on the show. I'd love to hear your story. Until next week, whatever you're doing that's making you happy, keep doing it. Bye-bye.
I met Dr. Fantastic along life's way, and I heard him say, you gotta say, I am fantastic, la la la. I am fantastic. You can feel it if you say it. It ain't a game. You gotta learn how to play it. Fantastic, fantastic. Just listen to the doctor. He's a rocker. He walks around all day. He ain't plastic. He's not sarcastic. He says, I am fantastic.